So on this lovely but rainy day in Sevilla, I am touring the Alcazar, which is basically a fort here, and there's multiple castles in here. It is supposed to be absolutely beautiful, and the most exciting part is that you may recognize some of the locations here from Game of Thrones. The castle in Dorne was filmed here, so the scene, I won't actually give away any spoilers, but some of the scenes where you see the sand snakes and the rulers of Dorne take place here in this area. Now it's quite large, so not the area that I'm standing in right now, but some of the gardens that I'm going to go into. So I'm really excited to tour it, so let's take a look around. There are at least 3 different castles here. I learned yesterday on my tour of the city. First castle is a Roman style castle, an Arabic style castle, and then I believe a Renaissance, and they might have mentioned a Baroque one too, but I cannot remember. I've been told that you can spend hours in here, so I'm gonna just take my time. Based on one of the churches that I've seen outside here, this looks a bit like Baroque. So now I'm in a room that is part of an old Gothic palace with these amazing tapestries on the wall. The gardens here are just incredible. I'm walking through all these gardens and I don't quite recognize Dorne yet, but I'm on a mission to find it. This is known as the Ladies' Garden, which is closed off for some reason, so we can't walk into it. This is called the Flowers Garden, and you can tell because it's in 4 sectors that it has Muslim influence, because that is the way they structure all of their gardens. But still no Dorne. It's probably pretty obvious, but this is the Arabic castle section. So after going back online and Googling, this is definitely one of the rooms that Game of Thrones is filmed in. Design are just incredible. This actually reminds me a lot of the house that I visited in Hawaii, of the woman, what was her name? I think it was Daisy? No, Duke. Her last name was Duke. And the tobacco heiress. And she designed her house with a lot of Arabic influence, and a lot of the rooms looked very similar, and she got a lot of her inspiration from here in Spain, I believe, and brought a lot of pieces over. Her doors to in her house look very similar to these. I think she actually had the doors shipped over from here in Europe, and she was her house is in downtown Honolulu, and you can take tours of it. So I went online to double check, and the house that I'm talking about is owned by Doris Duke. Was owned by Doris Duke. It's called Shangri-La, and it is in Honolulu, and you can get tours. It's very cool, and it reminds me a bit of this particular part of the Alcazar tour. So this room, called Admiral's Hall, was the place where Magellan and other great explorers planned their trips around the world. That's pretty incredible. There are just about 1 million rooms and areas to walk through in this place, and I'm completely lost. Well, that last place was a dead end, so we'll go back through this garden. I wonder what era those light bulbs are from. So So I believe I actually did see the Dorne Gardens when I first came in, but it was kind of hard to tell. And I'm gonna go up now and hopefully get another view of them. Here we are. Found it. So if you could take a moment and envision some sand snakes, some murder, some blood. This is where the scenes from the Dorne royal family castle are filmed in Game of Thrones. So not only are there gardens on this side of the terrace here, but there's also more gardens on this side. And I'm curious, I don't remember all of the scenes from the movie, so I'm curious if anybody watching will recognize whether anything was filmed over here as well. Well, now I need to go back and rewatch all of the Dorne scenes where they took place. Okay, I had to do some Googling, but we're overlooking the gardens, and I went online and found that the scene, one of the most famous scenes, maybe one of the last scenes to take place in Dorne, actually happens up there on the second floor, overlooking the gardens. So if you look up, I just Googled Dorne scenes, and the first image that came up was them sitting and standing and it being filmed from behind, so you can see those columns on the second floor there in the foreground, and all the gardens in the background. So that is pretty awesome, and now I have this incredible urge to go home and start Game of Thrones all over again at season 1, episode 1. But I'm in the middle of rewatching Downton Abbey, so it's gonna have to wait. I'm just hanging out in the gardens here. There's a peacock trying to attract a peahen. I wonder where she is. I don't see her anywhere. They've also got a Alcazar cat. Hola. So here I am trying to find my way out of this place, and I managed to wander into another room I haven't seen yet before. This has been a pretty incredible visit to the Alcazar palaces here in Sevilla. I've loved it. It's got amazing history, a lot of really cool things to see, beautiful architecture. And if you come over here, definitely it is worth the money to get tickets. And I recommend getting the tour of the royal apartments, because those are really very cool to see, especially because people still stay in them when the royal family comes to visit. So all in all, a really good choice for something to do for an afternoon here in Sevilla, Spain. Thank you for joining me on my tour of the Alcazar, and I will catch you guys more later on. Adios.